So okay, I'm terribly curious about this sentence that comes over you, because you've got this track record of picking these incredible books. So how do you approach submissions, and what is it about a submission that starts to get you that Spider-Man tingle or whatever it is that goes off that this might be something here?
Yeah, it's oh, how do I know when I love something? It's it's so hard to explain. You, it, sorry, I'm making really good podcast content right now as I as I just mumble and stutter.
No, we're building suspense. The esteemed audience is leaned in close. They've stopped washing the dishes. They're hanging on your next word.
It's really just a sense of wanting to turn the next page. You know, I think I request more manuscripts per, my request rate per query is probably a little higher than most. Because queries are so hard. They're so hard to get right. So I'm not always looking for, only the best ideas. I'm looking for things that have potential, that sound like they might be interesting. And I base it so much more on the material itself, and I just, I read the first 10 pages of everything wanting to fall in love, and it is sort of a spidey sense of, you know, if I get to the end of 10 pages and I'm no longer thinking about whether I'm going to fall in love, if I'm just reading, then I know it's good. It's sort of that the internal critic turns off because I'm just reading for pleasure. And I it's almost a sense of forgetting that I'm working, that I know something's the real deal. And when that happens, or if I hit a line that I want to, copy and paste into a chat with coworkers, then I know there's something real there. And that happened. The last book I signed, in the first paragraph, there was a sentence that was it hit me in such a visceral way. I thought it was so smart and so funny that I cut and pasted it to about five of my coworkers, just to be like, you should be jealous. I have the best submissions. Um, and I should have known. I should have known then. I should have known on page one that it was going to be something. Uh, but you know, uh, it's just enthusiasm. It's adrenaline. It's being able to close everything else out and just read, because there's so much noise, there's so much email, there's so many phone calls, that when something makes me able to focus only the words, then I know it's great, or I think it's great.
Well, do you trust you, or do you get a second opinion when you're on board to make sure that you're not barking up the wrong tree or just having a brain fart?
I do I don't always trust myself.
I know that sounds like a rude question. I didn't strike me that
No.
way because I don't trust myself on so many things.
No, it's hard when you're making decisions that really kind of impact the lives of a lot of people, a lot of aspiring authors, and eventually readers. But I do have coworkers who I think are have especially great eyes for various things. We're all different readers with different qualities, and I will ask people sometimes, uh, to read a query to see if I'm crazy or if there really is something there. But once I read a manuscript, if I finish a manuscript and I love it, I sign it. I don't get anyone else to read it. I doubt myself at the query stage, but at the manuscript stage, I either know how I'm going to try to sell the book and how I'm going to try to edit the book, or I don't. And that means that sometimes there are great books that I don't represent because I don't have the editorial vision for it. But it is what it is. I'm going to pass on future bestsellers. I'm going to pass on some award winners, and I'll beat myself up for it. But as I try to remind myself every time I'm looking at Pub Marketplace and seeing seeing deals for books that I turned down, I try to remember that it wouldn't have been right if I was the agent. I wouldn't have gotten the deal that this other passionate agent who loved the book got for it. So I I really try to remember that and try to believe that. Um, you know, not everything is right for me, and that's okay.
It's got to sound like it's an ongoing effort over 21 years. There've got to been some that really took off.
Oh yeah. Oh no. There are there are books that I
Turned
would
down
like,
Harry Potter twice. Oh my god.
not Harry Potter, but there are some that really sting. But the ones that sting more are the ones where I offer representation and they go with a different agent. And when I fall in love with a book and I don't get to work on it, it hurts, and it's totally fair. There are a lot of great agents out there, and people need to go with who they feel right with. But those are the books that stick with me and really haunt me. And I just think like, oh, all I want is to be able to say I sold that because I believe in it so much. When I pass on something and it does really well, I think, why didn't I see it? What about it didn't work for me? But when I saw it and I was right, then then I have a hard time letting go.